Well, look, BBC News has continued to go increasingly left-wing in recent years, in my opinion. That's why you've seen trust from viewers in the BBC falling. That's why you've seen audiences fall. And despite all the tough talking from the Conservative government, as usual, very little action in terms of actually getting rid of the ridiculous BBC licence fee. We know that when the public are asked how the BBC should be funded, they pick advertising, far more support for commercial advertising than through this ridiculous, outdated BBC licence fee. By the way, the BBC already has advertising, if you ever watch it. It just advertises a lot of its own programmes, so no issue really then with replacing that with commercial advertising to fund it. So instead we have the BBC licence fee continuing. And just to give some examples of what you see as a result of this, almost 2,500 people convicted in 1 month alone for not paying for a TV licence, including one man who was partially sighted with learning disabilities, a woman from Greater Manchester with a psychotic disorder who fell behind on her bills during a manic episode, prosecuted for not paying her TV licence, a woman from County Durham with learning difficulties and depression, prosecuted and convicted for not paying her TV licence, and it goes on and on. Absolutely ridiculous system. But also you see repeated cases of metropolitan sneering, left-wing bias, time and time again. You've seen it again today with this comment from BBC News presenter Geeta Guru Murthy.
About the wave of, and I'm using his words, not mine, aggressive young males that are coming into Poland, having crossed the Mediterranean, and he has said that this is now a matter of national security.
Nigel Farage with his customary inflammatory language there at a Reform UK press conference. He declined to stand for a seat, but we will have more on what Farage is saying. If you want to follow it more, just follow the...
As you might suspect, the reaction to this, one of disgust from many. You've got Patrick O'Flynn there saying only a newsroom mired in groupthink. The presenter who knows she's meant to be impartial think that this is okay. Nigel Farage himself there asking the question, what happened to impartiality? And Richard Tice there, the Reform leader, calling this disgraceful and that a formal complaint is being prepared. And just imagine, he asks, if GB News had displayed such bias. Now, there was an apology from Geeta Guru Murthy, but the fact that this comment was made in the first place, you know, we're not stupid. I think it shows you exactly what those who work at the BBC actually think.
Nigel Farage. Now, an apology. Earlier today, we heard live from Nigel Farage speaking at that election event we just saw. And when we came away from his live speech, I used language to describe it, which didn't meet the BBC's editorial standards on impartiality. I'd like to apologise to Mr Farage and viewers for this.